How do everybody? Just a really quick video before I go to bed. I just want to talk about a bit something I've noticed while I've been on X, formerly Twitter, today, and it relates into what I was saying earlier. For those of you who don't know, I mean, do watch my previous video because you'll get a much better explanation. But just to briefly summarise it, it's basically to do with that Islamic war memorial for the previous world wars, and how I think that's actually been used by the government as a way of normalising the Muslim population in the United Kingdom into the wider mythos of the history of Britain and the islands of Britain, to try and create an emotional connection between that community and the country. And I believe a lot of that is to do with the fact that the government are looking at, and we know this is going to happen, bringing in conscription, and they're trying to get recruitment on the go at the moment. So anyway, today while I've been perusing on Twitter, I've noticed loads and loads of basically different Twitter channels. So you've got things like one of the most recent ones is always David Lammy, the Labour Party official page, the Conservative Party official page, Number 10 Downing Street office page, the Prime Minister's page, the Home Office page. You know, all these various different pages have basically all got posters on their tweet pages, and as recommended, basically all with Ramadan Mubarak well wishes, which is fine. You know, I've got nothing against that, but it's just the how it's all been suddenly coordinated, suddenly happen all at once. I don't think that's artificial. I do think it's by design, and I do think it feeds into, as I said before, about the war memorial, which is the normalisation of Islam into the, as I say, the mythos of British history, so to speak, in an attempt to try and bridge the gap between the indigenous population, culture, values, and traditions, and the diaspora of Muslims living in the United Kingdom. Do I think this is going to work? No, I don't. I think, if anything, it's going to have an opposite effect. I think for those Muslims who live in the country who already feel British, I mean, they already feel British. You know, good for them. I'm very happy for them, and I hope they live long, productive lives and do well for themselves and for the wider society. But for the more extreme, obviously there'll be people in between. But for the more extreme part of the Muslim diaspora, of which there are a lot, you know, there's I think 40,000 on MI6's terror watch list. You know, that's 1% of the population. There's approximately 4 million Muslims in the UK. That's not insignificant. 1 in 100 people. And then when you take away, the probably going to be overwhelmingly men. I'd say close enough to 100% of those are going to be men to say it's 100%. You know, so let's play a little bit. You know, do a bit of barstool maths, napkin maths if you want. You know, you're looking at maybe 2% of that, so 1 in 50. You know, because you've taken away the women. You know, you could take away elderly men and younger children from that. So again, you could halve that again. So you're looking at maybe possibly 4%. You know, 1 in 25 Muslims are on that watch list. You know, potentially men. You know, of a certain age. You know, it's 1 in 25 of those. That's quite worrying. I mean, obviously, I'm pure speculating there with those numbers, so I could be completely wrong. But it's not insignificant, is it? But those people will see the government officials and government official channels and departments putting those posters up online. They'll see that as a victory, so to speak, and it won't be a case of them feeling they're more British. They'll see it as Britain becoming more Islamic, which is the opposite effect, really, because it will spur them on to engage in further radical action. And I just think it shows complete and utter weakness on part of the government. I'm not saying the government should be coming down hard on Muslims or Islam or anything like that, or being disparaging or anything. They should just be really being neutral about it and sticking to what it's always been in this country, which is a Christian country. You know, and just leaving it at that. And if people don't like it, then it should just be a case of, well, you know where the airport is. Thanks, goodbye, and just leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. It's just a really, really quick point, basically, on how I think it's just a bit more evidence on what I was saying earlier about the normalisation. And I just think, again, it just feeds further into that. I do think it's coordinated. And I think it's showing the government, again, is in full-on panic mode. What more can I say other than that? It's, Yeah, you either see the evidence for what it is, or you're blissfully ignorant and don't want to acknowledge it. Anyway, speak to you all later. Thanks very much. Good night. Bye bye.